Hello, Level Cast learners. Welcome to your weekly update of world news. Let's dive into some of the most important international stories from the week of July 27, 2026. News 1 of 25. First up, in sports, Mayo has finally won the Gaelic Football Championship. This team ended a 75-year curse and decades of defeats. They beat Kerry in the All-Ireland men's final. The team is now returning home for a big celebration. This victory is a huge moment for their fans, showing how persistence can lead to success even after a very long wait. News 2 of 25. Next, in UK politics, the new Prime Minister, Andy Burnham, faces a big challenge. He plans to fix the social care crisis, which has been a problem for 30 years. He says this change is necessary to prevent the National Health Service, or NHS, from collapsing. How he will achieve this goal is still unclear, but it's a major focus for the new government. News 3 of 25. Across Europe, a heatwave is causing serious problems. Wildfires are spreading, and countries like France and Spain are working hard to stop them before the weather gets even hotter. Sadly, 3 firefighters have died in Greece while trying to control these fires. The United Nations has warned that the climate alarm is blaring, meaning the world needs to pay close attention to rising temperatures. News 4 of 25. Moving to technology, there's a new debate about smart lamp posts. These are streetlights equipped with cameras and AI technology. They could help fight crime and find missing people. However, some people are worried that these lampposts could lead to too much surveillance, turning Britain into a surveillance state, where the government watches everyone too closely. News 5 of 25. In Italy, authorities in Naples have cracked down on umbrella cheaters. These are people who try to reserve beach spots overnight using umbrellas, deck chairs, and loungers. In Torre del Greco, officials seized these items in a dawn raid, which means an early morning operation. This action aims to ensure fair access to public beaches for everyone. News 6 of 25. We remember Paco Robles, a refugee from the Spanish Civil War. He settled in the UK but always kept strong connections with his home country. His life story is a reminder of the impact of historical events on individuals and the enduring ties people have to their origins, even when living far away. News 7 of 25. In Kenya, an investigation is underway after 15 elephants died unexpectedly in Amboseli National Park. Officials found a potential toxic substance in some of the elephants. This is a sad and concerning event for wildlife conservation, and authorities are working to understand what caused these deaths. News 8 of 25. In India, the cockroach movement, or Cockroach Janta Party, is protesting against mass student arrests. They are threatening to restart protests because the government reportedly broke a promise. Students have been detained in several cities, including Delhi, Assam, West Bengal, and Bihar. This shows how young people in India are using collective action to make their voices heard. News 9 of 25. Former U.S. President Trump's strategy for Iran is under review. The U.S. has paused its attacks because military officials say bombing alone hasn't worked to make Tehran cooperate. They also warned that the military campaign was running out of effective options and munitions. This pause suggests a re-evaluation of the approach to the conflict. News 10 of 25. Ukrainian President Zelensky is facing domestic challenges. A recent government reshuffle has shown deep disagreements within his wartime cabinet. The question now is whether these internal issues will affect his reputation and standing on the global stage, especially during a time of conflict. News 11 of 25. Japan experienced a 6.8 magnitude earthquake in Kumamoto. This powerful quake injured at least 100 people and tragically killed 2 inside a shopping mall. The earthquake also caused power outages and damaged buildings, leaving many people trapped and affected by the disaster. News 12 of 25. In the Middle East, former U.S. President Trump has announced a Gaza peace plan, including the disarmament of Hamas. He stated that Israel is very happy with the plan. However, Israel has not yet officially accepted it, and a far-right minister suggested that the only solution is encouraging emigration and destroying Hamas. The details, especially regarding a withdrawal or Hamas disarmament, are still unclear. News 13 of 25. Artists are finding a new creative home in Grand-Bassam, Côte d'Ivoire. They describe the city as calm and soothing. Many creatives who found Abidjan too expensive have moved there, bringing new life to a city that suffered a jihadist attack in 2016. This shows how art can help a community recover and grow. News 14 of 25. Russia has been accused of violating Polish airspace after a missile explosion near a village. The Polish Prime Minister visited the scene of the crater, which is believed to have happened during a wave of attacks on Ukraine. This incident raises concerns about the conflict in Ukraine spreading beyond its borders. News 15 of 25. A charity claims that French riot police used tear gas on people trying to board a small boat. The CRS officers, who are funded by the UK, reportedly tried to stop the boarding. This happened on a day when 4 asylum seekers died while attempting to cross the channel, highlighting the dangers and controversies surrounding migration efforts. News 16 of 25. An unusual asthma clinic in Armenia is located 250 meters inside a salt mine. Patients go there for deep breathing therapy. However, the future of this underground clinic is uncertain because the government has stopped its funding. This puts the fate of a unique medical facility in question. News 17 of 25. Saudi Arabia is preparing for a potential sea and land offensive against Houthi forces. Yemeni sources report that the Saudis are gathering their forces for what could be an attack in central Yemen. This indicates a possible escalation of the conflict in the region. News 18 of 25. The German Chancellor, Friedrich Merz, chose an unusual holiday read the Pope's AI encyclical, Magnifica Humanitas, instead of a fast-paced novel. With his popularity at a low point, his choice of reading material might suggest a focus on deeper, more philosophical topics. News 19 of 25. The U.S. has carried out dozens of strikes in Iran overnight. Central Command stated that these strikes aim to weaken the Iranian military. However, mediators say that peace talks are still ongoing, which creates a complex situation where military action and diplomatic efforts are happening at the same time. News 20 of 25. At least 5 survivors of abuse by Mohammed al-Fayed have now been officially recognized as human trafficking victims. This decision comes after the group of survivors claimed that associates of the former Harrods owner must have helped him commit these crimes. This is an important step for the victims seeking justice. News 21 of 25. The famous Noma restaurant is preparing to reopen under new leadership. This follows allegations of abuse, which led to René Redzepi stepping down and apologizing for his behavior. The restaurant is now focusing on staff well-being with a new head chef, aiming for a fresh start. News 22 of 25. The EU will hold an urgent meeting about the Ceuta crisis. This comes after an estimated 50,000 migrants crossed from Morocco into Ceuta. Italy has also temporarily suspended the EU's Schengen agreement with Spain, affecting travel by plane or boat, because 60,000 migrants reached Ceuta. This situation highlights significant migration challenges for Europe. News 23 of 25. Tragically, a tourist plane crashed during a flight over Peru's Nazca lines. The accident killed 13 people. The aircraft crashed into a field after taking off from the nearby city of Pisco, according to local authorities. This is a sad event for the tourism industry and the families involved. News 24 of 25. Campaigners are warning that anti-LGBTQ+ laws are increasing across West Africa. Activists in the region say that politicians often use LGBTQ+ people as the easiest scapegoats to maintain their power. This situation raises serious concerns about human rights and equality in these countries. News 25 of 25. Finally, in Ukraine war news, There are talks about an air ceasefire ahead of a meeting between Trump and Zelensky. Romania has called in the Russian ambassador after 3 drones were shot down. Meanwhile, Zelensky is also set to meet Andy Burnham in the UK. These diplomatic efforts are happening on day 1615 of the conflict. Outro. That's your wrap-up of the week's top international news stories. We hope this update helps you practice your English listening and understanding. Keep learning with Levelcast, and we'll be back next time with more news.